Well. Let me see.
Tavian, I'm trying to add you. Oh, there you go. Oh, your shit froze. Keep pounding. Hey, that's the motto. I mean, this team is still such bullshit, but you know.
You to believe they want you to believe to keep pounding.
Why look like you got on the same thing I got on?
Because you're a fan of me, nigga. You're my son.
Yeah, right.
Welcome, man. Welcome, man. Got a couple things to go through. Dylan, are we good on the recording? Thumbs up. And imagine me moving a date and time behind one nigga. Matter of fact, imagine us even having the live because of one nigga, and then nigga talking about he only got 15 minutes. I mean, imagine that. But if I say something, then I'm the bad guy.
Good morning. What a beautiful day. It's actually not that beautiful, but it's pretty fucking nasty outside.
Can y'all see comments? I can't see comments.
Yeah, I can see comments.
Yeah. Okay, cool. I can't, but that's.
You want to see playing right now?
Lucas, what
Yeah,
up?
let's go. Y'all niggas just cutting into my fucking family time. Let's go.
Well, you should have made your family time around something.
Nigga, I'll just hop off. That shit ain't no problem. Don't try to let your nuts drag.
Okay, that's fine. We'll see you on Tuesday, nigga. Good luck tomorrow. Fuck.
Let's go, man. Let's go. What's the topic?
Go.
Terrence, you're the host.
We got a few things we need to address. So I don't know. Well, obviously we play the Bucs tomorrow. To me, I think we'll lose this game, obviously, but it is the last game you get to see the Carolina Panthers play, so maybe you're excited about that. I really don't care. I'm excited for the season to end more so than anything. But the real reason, a lot of bigger things to talk about. So apparently, I don't know if everyone has heard that. You probably have that Jim Harbaugh still has some interest in the Carolina Panthers job, but Dave Tepper doesn't want to. What was it like? Relinquish his power to a guy like Jim Harbaugh. I don't know if it was like to that sense, like a guy like Jim Harbaugh, or I guess he just doesn't want to go the route of a new coach again. I don't know how y'all interpreted the comments, but to me it was dumb as fuck, honestly. But I mean, I don't know how.
I interpreted it as Dave Tepper doesn't want to relinquish his power. Period. Like,
pretty much.
I think that, I mean, you have a guy that is as decorated of a resume as Jim Harbaugh, you're going to relinquish some of that power, guaranteed. And you have no choice because, dude, I've done this, and every decision that you made since you've been an owner in the NFL has been a mistake. Every single one has been the wrong decision. So yeah, when I come in here, you have no say. Yes, it may be your team, but at the same time, you hired me to do a job and to establish a culture within this organization, and that's what I'm going to do.
Dave.
So I believe that it just simply was yeah, I don't want to relinquish my power. And if you get a guy in here like a Ben Johnson who isn't as proven as a Jim Harbaugh, you can still kind of, play the pitching contest game because at the end of the day, I gave you an opportunity when other people wouldn't, and I believe that's how this is going to play out.
Yeah, Dave Tepper comes off as a guy who has like some type of complex where he's probably been told his whole life that he ain't good enough, and so now he feels the need to have to prove to everybody that he is good enough, even though when it's like clear that he isn't. Like it's like he just seems like one of them niggas. Like enough just isn't enough. Hence why he's a fucking billionaire. Hence why he's as successful. It probably benefits him in some aspects of his life, but like in the NFL, it's just not one of those places. Like I don't think the nigga has any type of background in football. Like no coaching. Like no he that nigga's background in football is about the same as mine. He's been a fucking fan his whole life. So, but he feels the need to prove because he's seen immense success in other areas of his life. He feels the need to prove that he can see that same success in football, and it's just not the fucking case. Like nigga, you don't know what you're doing. You keep hiring the wrong people. You keep firing the wrong people. You've let the wrong people walk out the door and retain the ones that you probably should have let walk out the door. And it's just like at every step of the way, you've just fucked it. You drafted the wrong quarterback. I mean, you fucked training camp. I mean, everything about it, like everything about his time as an owner is just been fucked. You even fucked your relationship with the fans because you felt the need to throw a drink on somebody.
Yeah.
Like you just dicked everything involving the
And it
Carolina
wasn't,
Panthers.
and to go off of that, Tavian, it wasn't even necessarily the fact that you threw a drink on a fan. It's the fact that you threw the drink on the fan and then you didn't come out and apologize. Like when we read that statement the other day on the podcast, that was not an apology.
Yeah.
Like there was no apology in that. So I was reading something on Twitter the other day. I forget who it came from, but it was just like it's just a lack of accountability, and it's just like I said, it's just a constant pitching contest, bro. And they said that this guy is like a guy that is like a drunk, angry drunk that has the money to just do whatever he wants without repercussions. That's what Dave Tepper is, and that's what he continues to show us with his actions and his decisions.
Yeah. I mean, I was hoping a big enough lawsuit would come from that situation that he would have to sell the team, but obviously it's not nothing to that extent. So
They said it was like to an average person, it was like $1.70
yeah,
based off of his net worth. That fine.
yeah, which
That's insane.
because it's like
That's insane.
that means nothing. In actuality, that means nothing to him. So like they could have kept that. Really, it doesn't change anything. I guess the next topic, which is kind of a big story that I just seen, Adam Schefter report about Adam Schefter that everyone expects, league sources expect Scott Fitterer to be fired. So, I mean, I guess that's a step in the right direction. As you know, Scott Fitterer, I don't know how many years he's been here, but he came from Seattle, and since he's been here, he's just completely dismantled the future as we see it, or as we thought it would look like.
Yep.
When it comes to drafting, when it comes to free agency, when it comes to hiring coaches, Scott Fitterer plays a part in all of that. And unfortunately, the situation that we see now, Scott Fitterer has to take part of that blame. And so when it's a situation where you can't fire the owner, you can't make the owner sell the team, then you have to go in another direction and fire the GM, which we've all been expecting this to come. But yeah, that was the latest report. So how do y'all? I mean, I know this is something that we've been talking about for the last few weeks, but being that it's starting to look like it's becoming true more sooner than later, like what are some thoughts?
I mean, I would say it's about time. I think that the way that we've seen it done this season with other teams is the head coach as well as the GM has been fired at the same exact time.
Yeah.
So I was a little confused on why that wasn't a decision when Frank Reich was relieved of his duties. What was that, week 7, week 6,
Yeah.
something like that? So it's just, to me, it's something that had to be done. That was one of the things that I said once Frank Reich was relieved of his duties, that to put a halt on the celebration, because, if Scott Fitterer was still going to be around, then there really was no progress made in the Frank Reich decision. You know what I'm saying? Because it would just continue to be the same cycle over and over again. So, I mean, it's one of those things that has to be done. And at the end of the day, it was, in my opinion, it was only a matter of time. I don't understand the relationship that Dave Tepper and Scott Fitterer have amongst each other, because I know a lot of GMs would have been let go far, far, far before what it seems, Scott Fitterer will be relieved of his duty. So it's a little bit confusing to me, but it's like you can only continue to make the same mistake twice. I mean, as many times as we have, and to be seen as a competent organization, which unfortunately at this point I don't think the Carolina Panthers are, and I don't believe that that's the view within the league, that they're a competent organization. So it's a step in the right direction, but I've seen that it's being rumored that Dan Morgan was going to take over the job. And then my question will become, I mean, okay, that may be cool and that may be cute. And yes, he's a former Panther legend and all of those things. But I mean, what role did he play in what was going on for the past year?
Yeah, I don't like that. He's already in house, so I mean, you got to think that some of the stuff that has happened has been related to Dan Morgan as well.
A
And him
thousand
being a former
percent.
Panthers legend means absolutely nothing. Just because, I mean, Frank Wright was a former Panthers legend, technically being the first quarterback of the franchise.
Yeah,
Then he
but
came in
I
and
don't,
shit the
I
bed.
don't think that was applicable. I don't. Yes, but I don't think that anybody ever called Frank Wright a Panthers legend.
He wasn't a Panthers legend, but I think that him being the first franchise quarterback did play a big part of why he got the job over a lot of other candidates. But
And as far as Frank Wright goes, though, I mean, not Frank Wright, Scott, I mean, goodbye and good riddance. That's all I got to say about it. I'm honestly done talking about bro.
yeah, but I don't like the fact that if you're getting rid of Scott Fitter, but bringing somebody, just moving somebody up a position in house. I just feel like in a lot of situations, like to fix this situation we have, we need someone who is not anything related to the Carolina Panthers franchise as it is right now. As far as like, we don't need someone who's already been working in the building. We need someone from the outside who has a different perspective, who knows how to win, who's been in those situations before to turn a broken team around. I just feel like if we bring somebody in house, it's going to be relatively the same shit that we've already been seeing. Now, it might,
Yeah, I mean, I totally agree.
yeah, I was about to say it might be different opinions and viewpoints, but I feel like with the position that we're in now, like this is not a time where guys just get promotions because other guys above have been fired. No, we need someone in who can turn this thing around, and unfortunately, I don't think that's anybody that's in house right now.
I don't even think it really matters who you bring in from the outside at this point because of David Tepper. Because he's clearly coming off as a guy who's way too hands-on and way too involved. So it really doesn't matter who you bring in. Ultimately, the say is going to be with David Tepper. And
Yeah,
until that changes, like nothing is going to change for this franchise,
yeah,
unfortunately.
I think I agree. I think I agree with that statement. I think that it's going to be until Dave Tepper takes a hands-off approach, it's going to be very, very difficult to see any progress, bro. It really is because I mean, like I said at the very start of this thing, every decision he's made has been the wrong one. Every single one. He came in. I mean, he's just done so many things that have just been completely wrong from the very very beginning. He comes in and he moves on from Cam. He comes in, he moves on from Ron Rivera. He comes in and he puts up, the dome practice facility that's scheduled now 4 or 5 years later to be torn down. He comes in and he starts a project with Pink Hill, and that goes completely to hell. He changes the training camp location that's been the training camp location for over 2 decades. Every decision that he's made just has been completely wrong. And so until he takes a hands-off approach and he brings in a team president and he brings in a specialist for football operations, we're just going to continue to keep having the same conversations over and over and over again. And unfortunately, it's set up to where what we're going to do is we're going to look at other people instead of being able to hold the one person that actually is responsible for what's going on accountable.
But
Because at the end of the day, that answer is Dave
it's like
Tepper.
even we can hold him accountable as much as we want, and I feel like that's what at least we've been doing on our part. But in actuality, it does nothing by
You
holding
can't
him.
do any. Yeah, you can't do anything about it because he can't be fired. So the only thing you can hope is that he drops off randomly one day, or the NFL forces him to sell the team. Like
Yeah,
honestly, Like, and I mean absolutely no harm by that. But that's the only if we're looking at it from a fan standpoint, and I would say that pretty much to a certain degree, each one of us on this live is a diehard fan to a certain degree, and I'll even include Tavian in that. Like, if you're looking at it from a diehard fan standpoint, that's the only hope we have. Like, legitimately, I'm looking at something right here. This is an article that was released by Sports Illustrated, and I'll just read a little part. It says, I didn't even send the live out. Hold on one second, and I'll read it.
All right.
I forgot to send it out. One second.
Question: how do y'all feel about the reports of him hiring a hiring firm for the head coach search?
Yeah,
I
that's actually exactly what I was about to get into.
Okay. Well, I'll let you read it first before I give my thoughts on it.
Okay.
Because I'm really confused, and not in a way that I don't understand like what a hiring firm is. Or
I think that we may be confused in the same light because I don't really understand.
Same.
Hold on, let me just send it out.
No,
Let me
I
just
think
send it out.
we're all
Give me 1
confused in the
second.
exact same way.
Yeah.
Because what the fuck does a hiring firm know about football?
Well,
Well,
I mean, I will combat that. I'll combat that because allegedly the hiring firm that he's bringing in, hold on, I'm just gonna read it. Okay. This is just like the first couple sentences for the third time since he purchased the franchise in 2018. For the second time in as many years, Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper will go through a head coaching search. When he hired Matt Rule and Frank Reich, it was a search completely conducted from within the organization. This time around, Tepper and the Panthers will have some assistance. According to Joe Person of The Athletic, Tepper has hired the consulting firm Sportsology, led by Mike Ford, a former executive with Chelsea Football Club. Ford assisted in the search for Charlotte FC, which resulted in the hire of Dean Smith. Person also reports that Ford has helped NFL teams before, such as the Rams, 49ers, and Falcons. The Panthers are, along with other organizations who are about to enter a head coaching search, cannot conduct in-person interviews with candidates who are employed by other NFL clubs until after the conclusion of the divisional games, and it just goes on. But just along those lines, I have a couple comments, and then I want to hear what y'all have to say as well, obviously. But I'm confused because I don't. What are you bringing in a hiring firm for? If you're completely sold on Ben Johnson the way that we've been hearing the last month and a half, I mean, what are we? Why are we bringing in Mike Ford and Sportsology to tell to help conduct in this head coaching search? I don't get it. Like, you've been extremely vocal for the past month and a half to 2 months that the decision was
yeah,
Ben Johnson, right?
that's where I was going with it too, because I'm like, bro, you basically already up and told everybody that kind
This
of,
is your guy.
yeah, like it's fuck everybody else, like, and Ben Johnson, this is what I'm going after. I went after him last year. If he's still looking for a head coaching job, this is who I'm going after. You basically already came out and said that weeks ago. So I don't understand how a hiring firm, knowing who Dave Tepper is, knowing his actions over the past couple of weeks, even years, a hiring firm is not going to be able to change his mind off of a guy that he's already spoke highly of over the past couple of weeks, and the season is not even.
Multiple times
Yeah.
at that.
So I don't see what a hiring firm does. I think it's a stunt. It's an act. It's to make it seem like he's doing his due diligence to the fan base. It's a stunt to get the fan base to buy back into what he's doing, because we know that he's completely fucked the organization over the past few years. And so, yeah, that's what I think it is. But I don't think there's any real reason to bring in a hiring firm if you already have your guy.
Tavian?
So, I mean, copy and paste my last answer. As long as David Tepper is at the head of that decision to bring in the hiring firm, I mean, they can say whatever they want. But if David Tepper wants to do, but Dave Tepper's going to do what he wants to do at the end of the day. And it doesn't really matter who has anything to say. I mean, based off of what Terrence just said, it gives me the perspective of, like, it's just gimmicky. It's just another fucking gimmick to put asses in seats next season, because at the end of the year, or at the end of the day, he only cares about the bottom line.
Yeah, I was about to say at the end of the day, that's all he cared about. And it's just very, very frustrating when it seems as though the same cycle is going to continue to repeat this year. Even when you look at reports saying that Dave Tepper will give Ben Johnson a blank check, like, bro, that's kind of the same approach that we saw with Matt Rule. Like, completely unproven, has no head coaching experience. Now, Ben Johnson is a little different because he has professional football coaching experience. So I guess he has that going for him more so than Matt Rule did. But I mean, to have reports coming out of your building that allege that you'll give this guy a blank check, to me is preposterous. What has he done to earn that? Absolutely
And
nothing.
has he
Like, it's
not
just
learned? Has he
vacant.
not learned his lesson about giving those blank checks?
Right,
Like, how
right,
many
bro. Like, I mean,
coaches are you going to try to pay at one time?
yeah, bro. Like, if you just look at, the what's going on from a salary standpoint, bro, we're still paying two coaches, bro. We're still paying Matt Rule and we're still paying Frank Reich, and we're paying them not to coach us, like, for us. Like, that to me is like outrageous, especially when you're looking at the numbers that they're getting paid. Like, when you break it down from to from year by year to month by month to week by week, and then you look at what they're getting paid every single day to not coach the Carolina Panthers, and then you have reports coming out that say the Panthers are allegedly, or Dave Tepper is allegedly comfortable with giving Ben Johnson a blank check.
And,
Like, he has this infatuation with guys that to the average viewer or to the average fan, I guess you could say, because for me personally, he has an infatuation with guys that are just Jags and just average, like, just average people. Like, if you come out and say that about Bill Belichick, then I'm like, okay, you know what? Cool. I can live with you giving Bill Belichick a blank check. And even then, I may have a comment to make just because I don't think that Bill Belichick's approach, um, from a coaching standpoint, would work in Carolina with the amount of young guys that we have. But if you come out and say, I'll give a blank check to a Belichick, I'll give a blank check to a Jim Harbaugh, then I can live with it. And I, I'll be okay because I know what their resume says they are. But then you tell me that you're willing to give a blank check to a guy that hasn't done anything from a head coaching standpoint, and we really, really don't know. And not only a guy that hasn't done anything from a head coaching standpoint, but a guy that just not even a full 365 days ago turned your job down because he quote unquote was not ready to be a head coach, to me is just absolutely asinine. I really don't
yeah,
understand.
and I mean, to go back to Tavian's point, and I see what Shamik said, we paid 4 QBs last season. So, I mean, this is a reoccurring theme with Dave Tepper. And it just goes to further along Tavian's point from earlier. Dave Tepper is, like, at the end of the day, he's a businessman. He's a rich businessman. So it's like he feels that he can throw his money at any problems and they'll be fixed. And in some cases that does work. Unfortunately, in this case, it doesn't. Not with the current state that the team is in. You're no amount of money is gonna fix what's going on here. So this is one of the situations to where you have to actually strategize. You have to actually do research. You have to actually remove the business aspect of this, put on the football cap, which he doesn't have,
Right.
to actually find someone who is going to make this franchise better. But unfortunately, Dave Tepper is not the owner to step aside and allow that to happen by hiring a head of football operations. So unfortunately, this is like the state that we're in. But he's so used to doing this, so it's not even a surprise.
You know what's so weird to me? Like, I was just looking back and I forget there was an article that was produced like in either I can't, I honestly don't even remember, but I saw it come across my timeline. It was either last night or this morning, but it was just saying like last year during the coaching search that Dave Tepper allegedly had an infatuation with D'Amico Ryans, and I would love to know what happened with that situation. Like, I would love to know why D'Amico Ryans ended up not choosing Carolina over Houston. Like, especially when you have an owner in Houston that is like damn near a known racist. So you know what I'm saying? So you choose a known racist over Dave. I just would love to know kind of what goes on in these, closed door meetings, because stuff like that is very, very strange
Well,
to me. And another thing I would like to say, not to cut you off, my bad, but another thing I would like to say is The Carolina Panthers really need to be very, 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 very careful because we can't afford to lose anything. We can't afford to lose money. We can't afford to lose draft picks. We can't afford to lose anything. And the way that they keep pushing this Ben Johnson narrative, it feels like it could be tampering involved. I'm not accusing nobody of nothing, but the fact that I just keep seeing this dude's name pop up every single day, and it's in a different light, and it's in a different tonality, as if we're very, very close to a contract. And Tepper keeps saying he'll give him a. It seems very, very Tamper-esque, and we just need to be very careful.
Yeah, and I think to go along with your question about the D'Amico Ryan situation, what's going on in these coaches' heads to where they a coach rather go back where he has a head coaching job in front of him, but rather go back to be an offensive coordinator and then correlate it to, I don't think I'm ready, which I don't think no coach going up for a head coaching job has probably ever said that, because that's damn near like the biggest dream of any coordinator in the NFL is to be up for a head coaching job. Yeah. And we know those don't come around often. There's been a lot of coordinators and stuff like that who hasn't gotten head coaching jobs. Eric Bieniemy for one. So I don't really see any candidate ever saying anything like that. So that makes me think, like, was it actually that you felt like you wasn't ready, or did you just not want to be the head coach of the Carolina Panthers? Which, if that's the case, valid point. And it will fall inside of the same lines of why D'Amico Ryans decided to go be the head coach of a known racist owner. Because, I mean, I'd rather be able to run my own team and knowing that owner is going to sit back and let me do my own things than go to a team where the owner is controlling me just as much as he's controlling the business aspect of things. Also has his hands too far involved into what's going on the practice field and on the football field. So, I mean, it all makes sense. I think that they've done their research on previous coaches under Dave Tepper. I think they've done their research on the way Dave Tepper runs this team and runs this franchise. And any coach would be, in my head, any coach would be crazy to want to be a part of something like that, to where you know that you're not going to be able to come into a place and do your own thing, to where you're going to be micromanaged. No one likes to be micromanaged at their day job. So what makes you think a nigga who's making fucking millions of dollars wants to be micromanaged by somebody who doesn't know shit about the job and transparency?
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah, it's nasty work. It's nasty work, and then I would even go and then we could have a deeper, darker conversation and say, okay, cool. Well, if that was the approach from Ben Johnson last year, and D'Amico Ryans as well, and they're thinking in their head, why would we want to go work for a guy like Dave Tepper? My question to Dave Tepper would be, why would anything change from last year to this year as it applies to Ben Johnson? If he didn't want to work for you last year, and that was his ideology and his thinking on, the reason for turning the job down initially, what would change? Just because you throw a quote unquote blank check at him? Like, bro, some people, like, money is not the answer to that type problem. Like, some people, you giving me X amount of dollars is not gonna be worth my time and the amount of stress you're going to cause me if I know that I'm going to be micromanaged, or I know there's going to be an exuberant amount of anxiety that comes with this position. So then you just look like a complete jackass if that is the case, and that is the approach, and that is a thought process from Ben Johnson, because you've done everything in your power to let everybody in the NFL know, including Ben Johnson, that Ben Johnson is your guy. So what if he doesn't want to be your guy? So then what? So then what? So now you're approaching other coaches and you're going into the interview process like, yeah, at the end of the day, we wanted Ben Johnson, but we can settle for you if need be. Like it just looks nasty, bro. It looks nasty.
He's already set up the coaching search process for failure just by even coming out and saying that Ben Johnson is this and Ben Johnson is that. Shamit's comment, the Panthers will be on the – hold on, let me go up. I still stand on Tepper moving the Panthers – or I still stand on Tepper moving the Panthers take. We're seeing it happen. The Panthers will be on a short list of teams when the NFL is ready for a team overseas. Tepper is sabotaging the franchise by not doing the process of building the organization.
I mean, honestly, based on what I've seen, based on the way things are going, Shanique may have a point.
Yeah, I was about to say, I don't know if
it seems like sabotage.
Yeah, no.
Well, I mean, it's already you already do yourself a disservice when you don't conduct a proper head coaching search. When you go into a coaching search and be like, I already got my guy. Like, no matter who else comes through the door, like this is the guy I want. 1, 2, you're also in violation of the Rooney Rule. So like,
right.
let's not forget about that.
Yeah.
So,
and it just goes back to the point of like, bro, like you're coming out and doing all of this, but like we don't even know if he wants to be here.
Yeah,
exactly. Doing tricks for somebody who ain't even really paying you no mind.
Yeah,
because
their team is in the playoffs.
That's nasty work, yo.
So,
that's nasty work.
I mean, if I'm Ben Johnson tomorrow, I'm sitting over here like, nigga, I already told you I didn't want you once. Like, I got to tell you again. Like, the first time I said it respectfully. The second time, I'm going to get a little bit rude now.
So, imagine if Ben Johnson turns the job down again, then what?
Then you really have your answer as far as, like, you can really gauge the temperature on David Tepper throughout the rest of the NFL. Nobody wants to go work for a guy like that. Like, there's a difference between having a meddling owner who, like, people want to work for and a meddling owner who, like, nobody wants to work for. Like, I feel like Jerry Jones is that way. Like, he's a very hands-on owner. He's involved with everything, but guys still want to go work for him because it's Jerry, right?
And I just feel like, just from the feeling that I get, and I have no knowledge and I know nothing, but it seems like Jerry, to a certain degree, he's very hands-on, but I think that Jerry lets football guys be football guys.
And he does,
and
because Jerry plays football.
That's the main difference. Yeah, and see, that's the main difference. Like, David Tepper is not a football guy, and he doesn't have football guys around him to help him make these decisions. So it's a lot different.
Like, it just really pisses me off because everything he does, he seems to be like almost like trying to imitate Jerry, but he can't do it how Jerry do it.
Yeah.
For some reason, everything he does seems to be the opposite of what's logical.
Yeah,
like,
it's like he's trying to, like, it's weird. It's like he's trying to redefine what has worked over the past 100 years of the NFL's existence. Like, it's strange.
Yeah, I mean, I don't get it. I really don't. And I mean, there's not really anywhere that this team goes from here as long as Dave Tepper is at the helm. And I know we continue to say that, but that's honestly the reality of the situation. You can look at the players, you can look at the coaches. I mean, we all know those things need work as well. But I mean, nobody has a fair shot because it's like the script is already written. You don't have a chance to do your own thing. You don't have a chance to write your own story when it comes to this franchise if you're involved in any kind of way, because Dave Tepper has already written that script for you. And if it's not his way, then it's fuck you. So,
unfortunately, very, very unfortunate and very nasty. Another thing that happened this week that I haven't seen I haven't really seen many people go in details on is Derek Brown was completely snubbed from the Pro Bowl team. That's why a lot of people have completely discredited the Pro Bowl and anything that it stands for at all.
Yeah, I'm almost under the belief that you damn near need to stop. This made me feel like you damn near just need to stop letting the fans vote for the Pro Bowl.
Yeah,
because
it's a popularity contest. It always has been.
Yeah, which is sad as fuck, because like any logical football fan or any fan that has any knowledge of the game, you can't look at Derek Brown's statistics and tell me that he shouldn't be in the Pro Bowl.
It's because he plays for the Panthers, and like I guarantee you, the average NFL fan doesn't even know who Derek Brown is.
Yeah, that's very true. That's very true. It's nasty though. It's nasty, bro.
And
like, this nigga is legitimately, bro. He's legitimately, I believe, is 6 tackles away from like having the most tackles in NFL history by a D lineman.
He'll probably be an all-pro.
That is preposterous.
He'll probably be an all-pro. though.
Well, I mean, I hope so.
Which means more than a Pro Bowl.
I mean, yeah, it definitely does, and I hope that you're right. But we also knew that Frankie Louvu was supposed to be on the All-Pro team last year as well, and that should have been set in stone as well, and he got snubbed. So I won't even say that he should he will probably do anything because I've seen the NFL and the NFL fan base as well as different people that vote on these type things screw us over time and time again. So yeah, I hope he makes All-Pro. If he breaks a record, bro, and he has the most tackles by a D lineman in NFL history, then there's just simply no way that you can't put him on an all-pro team from a logical standpoint. But if you're thinking from a political standpoint, there's a way for the nigga to still be
Yeah.
snubbed.
Now, did you see what?
It's just a
Did
nasty.
you see what Shamik said?
No, I can't. I can't see anything.
He said Baker comes to put the final nail in the most humiliating season in Panthers history, which is kind of what I wanted to talk about today.
Yeah, I was about to say that's the reason why we even having this live because that was the approach you had, Savior.
It's gonna make him happy. So
get
me? It's gonna make me happy.
Yeah, I mean, this is what you told me earlier in the week. So go ahead.
No, it's just because I simply didn't realize that this was really I mean, you really couldn't write this any more perfectly to show just how big of a fuck up this entire the last 3 years for the Carolina Panthers have been. To get the guy and Baker Mayfield, first of all, you traded for Sam Darnold. You didn't like him, so then you go out and get Baker Mayfield. And, I mean, the fans damn near run this guy out of town because everybody's blaming everybody but nobody had blame last season but Baker Mayfield, right? Everybody says this whole team is throwing this shit because of Baker. But then we see this year, it's damn near the same team without – the only thing you don't have, like you had last year, is you don't have DJ Moore. You don't have what's bro? For the Bears. Foreman and Baker. Those are the pieces that you don't have anymore. And this team has 2 fucking wins. And it's just it's crazy that he goes to a team in a division rival. That too. Then he goes to a team in a division rival who's competing for the division title, and he gets to come to Carolina to drop his nuts one time and solidify winning the division and going to the playoffs against the franchise who ran him out of town and almost ended his NFL career.
I mean, I will say this. I didn't hate the fact of seeing Baker Mayfield ball out in Tampa because, one, I think it opened the eyes of a lot of fans. 2, it opened the eyes of maybe Dave Tepper a little bit, maybe not. Opened the eyes of people within the organization that the state that we're in falls way deeper than needing a quarterback. This is not a situation that just a quarterback fixes because you've seen at the beginning of the season, Baker Mayfield went to Tampa and was damn near looking like Patrick Mahomes with just some of the plays he was making, some of the throws he was making, the way he had Tampa Bay looking, and now
weapons he had around him.
They're first in the NFC South, having a chance to solidify their spot in the playoffs with this win, which ultimately we were in the same place last year when you think about it. But either way, it just goes to show what a quarterback can do when they have talent around them. Now, I'm not saying that Baker Mayfield is just some elite quarterback or anything like that, but I think with a great wide receiver room, with serviceable running backs, with an okay offensive line, then a quarterback can look a lot different than his previous situation. And he's a guy that was drafted, first overall, number 1 draft pick, already off that team, then came to us to try to revamp his career. We ran him out, and we were thinking it was Baker Mayfield. He went to Tampa Bay. We know Tampa Bay has a solid roster. As much as some people might not want to admit it, they have a solid roster with just Mike Evans alone. And then you add Chris Godwin. It's Chris Godwin, right? You add Chris Godwin, Rashad White, and then that defense, they still have guys on that
team as well. Don't forget about him because he's a solid tight end. He's a better tight end than most of the tight ends we have on our roster.
Exactly. So when you have a team like that around you, it makes the quarterback look a lot better, and it made me realize that we need more than just a quarterback. So I wasn't mad that Baker was balling out when he went to Tampa.
I mean, I'm gonna feel away if he comes to Charlotte and clips us for a divisional title, and I think everybody should. And I think that the person that should feel the biggest way, excuse me, is Dave Tepper and Scott Fitterer. Like everybody that's a part of this organization, whether it be a fan, a player, somebody that's in the front office, etc. Everybody, if Baker Mayfield has a chance to win the divisional title in Charlotte tomorrow morning or tomorrow afternoon, and he does it, everybody should feel away because it forces you to look in the mirror and ask yourself, how are you a part of the problem? Because at the end of the day, there's no other proof that there's a problem in that type situation. So yeah, it's nasty. Tomorrow for me personally is a must-win game. Like, and I may sound crazy, and niggas might think that I'm talking nuts, but to me, tomorrow's a must-win game for the Carolina Panthers. Because if not, then you just solidify yourself as just being complete dog shit and being worth nothing.
Yeah.
Not that they haven't already done that in the first 17 weeks of the season, but at least week 18, you can send me off into my 7 month, into my 4 or 5 month break with a victory, and knowing that Baker Mayfield didn't come into the bank a year after we let him go and won the divisional title on behalf of the Carolina Panthers.
And I'm not gonna sit here and say that he won't do that because I still have us losing this game, unfortunately.
What's your score?
I'm gonna go. I don't even know, bro. I'm gonna go 21-13.
Let me see.
Can someone pull up the weather?
Yes.
I'm sure it's gonna be.
It was 21-18 the first time we played them, so that's not terrible.
But it was also like a monsoon.
Yeah.
It's supposed to be clear. 54.
Oh, okay. Yeah, give me
0% chance of precipitation.
35-14 Tampa Bay.
Damn.
What did you say
this gonna be
yours was?
What did I say? 21-13.
because this team showed me last week that they're done. They're pretty much packing it up. Tampa Bay has everything in the world to play for, and Baker is just that type of dude that like to hold a grudge, and he's been that way since college. So I see like every reason in the world for him to just walk into Tampa Bay and drop his nuts. I mean, to walk into Carolina and just drop his nuts.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, though this is a must-win game for the Carolina Panthers, in my opinion, I still think they lose. I'm gonna say 30-6.
You saying 13, dog, is going to be 28-3. We were playing for nothing, Bucks playing for everything. Baker blood and guts game. They will go out and do it for him in the division. I mean, that's fine. I can still think we can get up 13 points.
Did somebody else drop score predictions? Did somebody, like one of the fans or people that are in the live, drop score predictions?
I haven't seen anything.
Drop your score predictions in the chat so we can feature you on the score prediction post this week. That will actually drop within the next like hour or two. 30-6. Let me take a screenshot.
21-7 Bucks from Lucas.
Got you. Cool. Do you guys have any questions, comments, anything y'all wanted to talk about real quick? Terrence gave me a hard out of 1 o'clock, so we'll uphold that. But if anybody wants to ask any questions, make any statements that y'all want us to comment on, whatever. The floor is available.
With nothing to play for, y'all put up 14. Watch. That's what I'm saying, Carter. This would be one of the games that, you know, it, you never know what this damn 35-7. Oh my God.
Who said that?
Parker. I mean, well, you had 30-6, so he ain't too far off.
Yeah, he's not too far off. Me and the nigga think alike. You ask me.
Yeah. I mean, damn.
Nasty work. Look at what we've become.
Yeah, I know. It's sad.
Just 7 years ago, Cam Newton had us. I mean,
How damn change my score prediction because now I feel like a jackass.
You just have more faith. Like you just have more faith in your team.
Yeah, my bold prediction for tomorrow is that Baker Mayfield throws for 320 yards.
Everybody's scared.
I would take the over.
Yeah.
I would take the
Prize
over
picks.
on 320.
If Prize picks, whatever Baker's Prize picks, like line is at tomorrow, I'm taking over no matter what.
I just don't know how they can score even if it's garbage time. I mean, I agree. Like, I don't. We legit have no offense, but I mean.
But we do, bro. But we do. Like this is why this whole season has pissed me off because what I've seen in the Green Bay game, bro. What I've seen in the Green Bay game is what I've been seeing once or twice a game the whole season. And for whatever reason, we just simply can't put that all together for the duration of a full game.
It's too inconsistent. That's why I said, like, you have no offense. If you can't consistently get that, then something's not clicking. Oh, okay. Yeah. Y'all think this is Brian Burns' last game as a Panther? If I'm being honest, I hope so.
That's a great question. And I'm going to say, a lot of niggas have put me up on game on a couple of things that Derek Brown has said over the past, like, year and a half, 2 years. I don't know if that nigga wants to be here. I don't know if any amount of dollars would get Derek Brown to stay here. Now, I just wanted to throw that out there. I don't know if Derek Brown wants to be a Carolina Panther.
What have you heard him saying?
Like, it's just been subtle things, like just about like about losing so much. I think he said something like last year about like front office, if I'm not mistaken. He said something about Dave Tepper. Shaq Thompson also said something about Dave Tepper, and with the ego that we believe Dave Tepper has, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if we see Shaq Thompson get clipped this off season too.
I mean, well, Shaq Thompson was supposed to be gone last season. We just cut him a little slack and tell him, hey, like, you're going to take less money and, you know, we just going to bring you back. So I'm not going to be surprised if he's gone. Derek Brown, I have a hard time seeing that happen. There's no way we can lose both of them.
Contract.
I mean,
there is no, Shaq Thompson is under contract right now. He signed this is last year. This is Shaq Thompson's last year. No. I'm blazing. He has 2 years. He got 2 years this year. He got 2 years, $12 million. So Shaq ain't going nowhere. But he told that nigga Dave Tepper he can't do no dumb shit like that. I'll tell you. He told him in the press conference. I think that Bastar asked him, how do you feel about it? He said, you can't do stuff like that. And I just feel like Dave Tepper, with the ego that he has, imagine me allowing a nigga out of all people that work for me tell me what I can and can't do.
What was he saying that in relation to?
To him throwing the brick on the fan.
Oh, true. Yeah, I mean, is there a way we can? I mean, there's always a way, but I just have a hard time seeing we lose both Derek Brown and Brian Burns.
There's a way.
No, yeah.
That means you need to change your prescription if you're having a hard time.
Well, the way actually, Terrence, I understand your perspective, and there isn't a way because you can tag one of them and make them stay.
Like, obviously, anything can happen, but
we lost CMC and DJ Moore in one season, so yeah, there's a way.
Yeah, I think there's